All right, and we're live. So, welcome back to Dapp University. Today, we got a bunch of exciting news to cover. We're talking about why yesterday was such a big day for Ethereum. All right, I'm really excited about this. This could be a potentially a historic moment for Ethereum going forward. It's a big news drop that we can see a lot of other people do the same type of thing down the road. So, I'm excited to talk about that today. We've got a bunch of new developments for layer 2 scaling solutions. The problem that everybody's talking about with Ethereum right now, the gas fees are so high. It's really bullish news on that. Yeah, a DeFi hack, all kinds of crazy stuff to talk about today. We're gonna look at the markets, kind of see what's going on, what I think about that, some bullish sentiments that I see. All right, so before we get into that, if you're new around here, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you learn how to become a blockchain master step by step from start to finish, then head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. All right, so we got lots of people rolling in the chat here. We got James. We got Clairvoyant Alliance. Let's see here. Vaughn, Born, Naira. Awesome. Very cool. So let's go ahead and jump into this. So why was yesterday in particular such a big day for Ethereum? So let me pull this up on my screen here. So this is a little piece of news that I think was kind of overlooked by the whole crypto space. But I think it's actually more significant than a lot of people have been talking about. And I'll explain why. So I'll go pull up the story on my screen here. So Kings of Leon will be the first band to release an album as an NFT. Okay. So we'll get into the details on this and what this means. But let's talk about why it's such a big deal. Okay. NFTs are hot right now. Of course, we've seen the speculative nature of the digital art world, digital collectibles just absolutely explode over the past few months, right? We talked yesterday about digital books being a potential use case for blockchain technology, probably also NFTs, okay? And today we're talking about music, okay? Why a major label recording artist, okay, don't forget, this is huge, a major label recording artist like Kings of Leon would want to experiment something like this. Now, keyword here is experiment, okay? The whole idea is that they're doing something that nobody's really done before. This could be the first of many other people to do the same type of thing later down the road, okay? So what value would an NFT have, all right, as an album? Well, it's just like anything else. Digital scarcity, verifiable ownership, automation of all this type of stuff that's written directly to the blockchain, okay? And I can see, this starting to be bigger for the music industry as a whole. We talk about concert tickets, right? Because that's one of the benefits inside of here. Let's just look at some of the details here. I think I lost it. It was on here. So the token price of $50 includes enhanced media, all right, as well as a digital download of the music and limited edition vinyl, all right. I feel like in here somewhere they were talking about how it gave them access to concert tickets and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's gold tickets, all right. So looks like there's multiple tiers here. So you can go check out the article for all the details. But there's an actual concert ticket, okay. Yeah. So lots of details in here. You can check out the Rolling Stone article for every feature of this particular NFT and the packages they're experimenting with. But let's talk about concert tickets and why that could be a big deal for music and musicians down the road. I mean, also albums, right? Like these are two areas where blockchain could be incredibly disruptive for the music industry if they can find some way to use this as leverage. Because I mean, my past career before I got into software engineering was in the music industry, so I understand these problems pretty well. Okay. So basically, you have your royalties problem with music, or intellectual property problem, where basically, Napster came in and destroyed the music industry. Essentially, people started just pirating music and downloading it. People devalued music. They got out of the habit of buying CDs, all that kind of stuff. And then artists essentially couldn't get paid. And it decimated the recording industry. And now Spotify, is here, and musicians get paid pennies on the dollar for streams. I mean, fractions of a penny. Fractions and fractions of a penny for a stream. So it's really hard to make money recording music and putting out there, despite that being a very expensive thing to do. I mean, if you want to record a major label album, it's very expensive, okay? So it's bad business model in many respects to have to record something that's that expensive with the long shot that you're ever even going to break even on it. So basically, if we can create a way to digitize music where you can ensure that anytime that music changes hands, that payment goes to the actual creator of it in the first place, that's huge. Okay, now there needs to be some leverage, right? There has to be a reason for the end consumer to favor that alternative over what they have now, which is Spotify. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. If you guys have any ideas, leave a comment in the comment section below. The other thing is concert tickets, right? So if it's really common in the music industry or also any type of event. I'm sure this is true for sporting events too. I'm not a big sports guy, but I would imagine this would hold true, where basically people will go out, get on Ticketmaster and then just like buy out all the tickets that hit the market first and then scalp them, right? They'll just sell them for a higher price. So if you have digital tickets like this, where you weren't dependent upon, one platform to issue them, where they were actually issued on chain by the people who were in charge of the event, right? And then the distributors sell them, or maybe you sell them. Well, you could write into the ticket anytime the ticket changed hands that if it's scalped, sold for a higher price, then the proceeds can go back to the original creator. So there's lots of, I'm just kind of thinking about ideas off the top of my head here. I'm sure there could be lots of other cool things that come up with this. But those are some really exciting ones that are top of mind. So that being said, there are still some technical limitations with this. It's not like we can just ship this solution tomorrow. It would be expensive for everybody to buy concert tickets on top of Ethereum right now. Layer 2 scaling solutions come soon, which they very, very, very likely will. We'll talk about that here in a second. This could be a viable alternative, assuming that there's a reason for consumers to choose this option over what they have now. So that remains to be seen. But yeah, this huge. All right, this is a big day. So let's see here. We'll jump into the prices here. But let's see. We can check on the comments. So somebody says, "I like to grab my music free though." Yeah, so that's part of the problem. So there has to be a reason why people are going to choose this over just like signing up for Spotify, having a free account. It'll be interesting to see that there has to be a compelling reason for consumers not to do that. So we'll just wait and see what happens there. It doesn't mean there can't be a solution. Trust me, I've seen lots of people, very smart people, sit around, scratch their heads saying like, hey, how are we going to use blank technology? And then it comes to find a really good product market fit down the road, and it's incredibly disruptive. Blockchain's an example of that. I was sitting around, I was here in 2017 when, we were using Ethereum primarily for tokens and ICOs. And we were kind of scratching our head saying, hey, what else we can use these smart contracts for that we know can be used for consumers? Sure, there were lots of ICOs with white papers and grand ideas. But it was hard to really see the clear use cases where we were just going to easily, have products that end consumers were going to desire immediately. Okay. It wasn't really until DeFi took off that we had clarity on that type of thing, at least from my perspective. All right, so let's go ahead and check in on the markets. So what's going on with the Ether price? So we're at $1,561, $1,561. So the CoinGecko sentiment is green. All right. So it's basically a lot of what I've been saying. We went up to 2K. I thought we would do that. I thought we were correct. Once we got to 2K, it happened pretty fast. I was thinking we were correct. We did. We've seen a little bit of a bounce here. This very well could be a dip, right? I said that yesterday, past couple days. It looks like this is turning into a dip. That being said, you always have to exercise caution because plenty of people say, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. I'm not telling you to buy the dip. I just personally think this probably is a dip. Because you got to be careful about that. we saw that then in 2017. People said, buy the dip, buy the dip. People bought the dip and then went into a 2-year bear market. So always exercise caution. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. It's not financial advice. I'm not a trader, not a TA guy. I'm a developer, works with this technology on a daily basis. I'm investing in stuff personally. I've watched these markets for years. A lot of what I look at is big picture stuff. A lot of it's based on big picture indicators, a lot of intuition, a lot of just, a lot of stuff. Okay. So, yeah, I think it's probably a dip, but again, not financial advice. So let's look at Bitcoin as well. I'm gonna talk about some bullish indicators to back that up and support it here in a minute. But let's just look at the Bitcoin price. Like I said, I do look at a number of indicators, but it's always nobody's got a crystal ball, that's for sure. So Bitcoin, I'm thinking the same type of thing. I mean, the Bitcoin price and the ETH price are looking, they have very similar trends, right? Right now, they're highly correlated. Okay, to me, I'm thinking that Bitcoin's doing a very similar type of thing. Okay, so we're at a very strong psychological number of 50,000 right now. So people are saying like, oh, Bitcoin's never going to break past 50,000, and it's silly. Okay, so let's look at some bullish indicators that I think are going to back this up. Of course, we can look at Nupal on Glassnode. Like, check that out. It's kind of look at our Nupal metric here. Again, this is net unrealized profit. We want to stay out of euphoria. We reset Nupal whenever the price corrected, which is awesome. Okay, so that means we've got more room to ride. Honestly, I hope that we go up slower. Like I've been saying this, where because if you go up slower, that gives people a chance to like kind of sell and cool off and make some more headroom on the Nupal chart, because we really want to stay out of euphoria. Because I mean, history says that when we enter euphoria, bad things happen. Now, it may not necessarily be like the long-term top. It likely will be based on history. We do see some like euphoric moments in some of the earlier past history, closer together. Some people say this is like 2 bull markets. I don't know. I mean, yeah. Nupal's also not a 100% reliable metric either, right? Like, it's not a guarantee of what's going to happen, but anytime you're in blue, it's be careful. Okay, so let's talk about some bullish indicators also, because in order for the price to move up, we need more money to flow into the space. We talk about institutions buying crypto, particularly Bitcoin. So let's look at some of that. Let's see here. Sorry, man. So we got some other big names in the space. So we got Cathie Wood from ARK Invest, who remains bullish on Bitcoin. Okay, so Cathie Wood, famous Tesla bull, has been a Bitcoin bull as well. So ARK Invest founder and chief investment officer Cathie Wood reiterated her bullish position on Tesla and Bitcoin Wednesday, while warning that the growth of digital wallets will gut traditional banks. It's a pretty strong statement. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Also, we've got Tim Draper kind of speculating that Netflix might be the next Fortune 100 firm to buy Bitcoin. So if that's true, that would be huge. We could potentially see them putting in $1 billion plus, right? That would be huge. That's another example of outside capital flowing into the space, because that's what you need in order for the Bitcoin price to go up. Either the same market participants have to buy more, or new market participants have to enter into the space. And that's why institutions are such a huge bullish catalyst for cryptos in general, is because they can bring a lot of money into the space. So you either need a lot of small players to enter the space, or you need a handful of really big players to move that needle, especially in a large cap cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, for example, something that's worth basically $1 trillion. A lot of new money, billions and billions and billions and billions and billions have to flow in order to move $1 trillion asset like that. And institutions are one of the strongest bets for that. So one other word of caution with the prices are definitely what's going on with the stock market right now. So there are lots of warning signs over there. That's my biggest caveat that I've been talking about, pretty much all week. this trend line doesn't necessarily mean we're gonna like break downward or anything like that, but it's something to definitely watch out for. Okay, I think crypto and stock markets are still correlated to the downside for sure, in the sense that if the stock market absolutely tanks, I think that the crypto markets will go with it. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to end a multi-year bull market. It could end a multi-year bull market. But that's something to watch out for. We can look at the. Oh, sorry, I don't have a trading view account. I'm not really a trader. I guess I could create a trading view account. I was looking at the S&P 500 index. Okay, so let's see here. Sorry, I had it zoomed out on the 5-year timeline. Take a look here. But yeah, I mean, this is everybody who I follow in stock market's been kind of freaking out a little bit. Of course, this is where we're coming from last March. Yeah, things are starting to look a little tumultuous up here. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I would just say that's the other big factor that we gotta stay cautious about. So let's talk about layer 2, because this is another big bullish catalyst for ETH in general. Okay, probably the price of Ether. Again, not financial advice. Nobody knows for sure. Cryptocurrencies are correlated, like Ether is correlated with the usefulness of the network in the sense of for lots of reasons. Okay, but there's no guarantee that this will be like the price is going to triple or anything like this. But we're seeing lots of Easter eggs about exciting layer 2 announcements coming down the road. Okay, so I keep opening links and it pops up on my other screen. So, I've been talking about layer 2 optimistic rollups launching very soon, like in March, on top of Ethereum. I've got a video about that coming out, I believe, on Friday with my very succinct thoughts on that. Why I'm so bullish on that particular scaling solution. So go check out that video when it comes out. Subscribe to the channel. Click the notification buttons. Again, just a quick recap. Layer 2 scaling solutions are an answer to the high gas fees that are going off Ethereum right now. Also, other issues like transaction speed, all that kind of stuff. But we've got, and the one I'm most excited about is optimistic rollups, launching mainnet in March. Very soon. We don't have an official date from what I understand. But I've speculated a lot that we could see Uniswap v3 launch with Optimism like pretty soon after, like maybe when it comes out. We'll see. Again, this is speculation on my part. I'm just kind of putting the pieces together. Uniswap did a demo with Optimism called Unipig Exchange on a testnet a while back. They had a lot of great things to say about it. I'll talk about some of these tweets that I've been seeing here on Twitter. This is Andre from Yearn Finance saying, when founders, core contributors start posting more actively on Twitter, it normally means they've finished a milestone and are waiting for the release. This is the limbo time where they don't want to start something new yet. I've noticed Hayden Adams post frequency increase. Then Hayden jokes, he says, please delete. It's kind of like the Twitter joke of, you released some, you leaked some news on Twitter as people are saying like, hey, please delete, so that other people can't get an advantage off this information. So we also saw, a poll from Hayden on Twitter, saying when Uniswap v3 details are announced, which will you read first? So you're saying, announcement, blog post, Uniswap tweet storm, Uniswap v3 white paper, or rando Twitter reactions. So these are some juicy Easter eggs, It wouldn't surprise me if we saw a Uniswap v3 launch like in the next 30 days, okay? And if it does, and we have fast, cheap transactions on ETH, it's gonna be bonkers. Like, it'll probably be bullish for the Ethereum price. I don't know for sure, but probably. All right, it's gonna be nuts. And well, in the very least, like, all the ETH killers out there, everybody who's like hates on ETH and thinks it's just a dinosaur that's never gonna work. Like they'll have zero ground to stand on at that point. So, anyways, yeah, super bullish. So we're seeing a lot more. Layer 2 news come out. Like we talked about DYDX earlier this week. Of course, they have a layer 2 scaling solution called Starkware that they launched relatively recently. So we got news here since announcing our layer 2 perpetuals with Starkware. We had over 83,000 users sign up for the waitlist. So there's demand for this stuff. All right, people want to use this. That's awesome. In order for layer 2 to gain wide adoption, we need support from wallets, all that kind of stuff. And we got an announcement from yesterday from MetaMask. So our new custom networks API on our latest is our latest step on the way to seamless cross-chain user experience in MetaMask. So developers can recommend layer 2 networks like Polygon, Arbitrum, Optimism, Scale, and XDAI. Okay, so that's going to be huge to make it easier for people to use layer 2. So, we got to get developers to get their apps on top of it. That's one of the reasons I'm bullish about Optimism is it's a lot easier for developers. You don't have to learn new programming languages. You barely have to change, hardly any code changes, maybe if any. You don't have, like, most of your developer tools are going to work out of the box. Like this is huge. Like if you're not a programmer, this is huge. Also, we need user-facing features to work. So consumer tools like MetaMask need to support it, and so we're seeing all the stars really align for this stuff. Okay, so let's see here. All right, now I want to talk about another DeFi hack, if you can really call it that, that's happened lately. So this was one on Binance Smart Chain. So DeFi project Meerkat drained by 31 million on Binance Smart Chain. So let's see, Meerkat Finance has been drained for $31 million. Don't forget the DAO hack, I think, was $50 million. This was a historic event on top of Ethereum. I can talk about that here in a minute. But basically, the team behind Meerkat Finance, a yield farming pool on Binance Smart Chain, went live just one day ago, claimed in its official Telegram channel around 9 p.m. UTC. Their smart contract vault was compromised. Was drained about 13 million. So there was, let's just see here. So anyways, long story short, you can read the article, but people are saying it's actually a rug pull. So I don't know if you know what a rug pull is. Have you done DeFi? Think about it this way. Like, imagine, you walk into a room, there's a rug, you stand on top of it, and somebody pulls that rug out from underneath you, and you fall on your face. That's what can happen with like unaudited smart contracts, is like you can put money into it for yield farming, and then the team who creates it just like yanks the rug out from underneath you and you lose all your money. Right? That's one of the reasons, like, I don't personally do a ton of yield farming for lots of reasons. Like, one, it takes a lot of time to chase yields. Number two, like, your principal can go to zero if a smart contract is hacked, right? I'm not saying it's not good opportunity for some people. I just don't personally do a lot of it, okay? So if your principal goes to zero, then you've lost all your money, right? Now, not all projects are created equally. Not all projects are created equally, right? But a lot of people are just like, the term is like aping into these projects that are not audited. They can't read the code themselves, so they don't realize the risk that they're taking on, or they do actually realize the risk they're taking on in a lot of ways. They know better. At least I think a lot of people actually know better. They're just going to make the excuse that they didn't know after something bad happens to them. But anyways, the whole point here is be careful, right? You don't want to just go stick your money to something that could be rugged like this. I'm not hating on Binance Smart Chain, by the way, for this particular story. This happened a lot on ETH, especially last summer during like the DeFi summer, and we're kind of seeing history repeat itself with what's going on with Binance right now. There's sort of like a DeFi summer happening right now, where people are, chasing yields and, making all kinds of money. Some people are just absolutely losing money like this. So be careful, all right? So one thing I did mention earlier was about how this it's so crazy this doesn't make absolutely insane news because this is a lot closer. This is pretty close to the DAO hack number. So if you're not familiar with the DAO, basically this was a really popular or famous app in the early days of Ethereum where people were kind of experimenting. I think it was in 2016. I think was the year. I have to go back and check me on that one if I got it wrong. But basically, people were putting money into a smart contract, kind of like this, not the same thing, but kind of like this, and it got hacked and they drained. I think it was $50 million, and they forked the chain, and that was a very controversial event. And that's all we have. Ethereum Classic was the remnant that stayed behind, and then we got Ethereum without the DAO hack after. All right, so let's see if we got some questions here in the chat. All right, so let's see here. Let's see here. Sorry, I keep reading the questions in the chat. The chat like scrolls really fast and I lose it. So what about Binance Smart Chain? So we were just talking about Binance Smart Chain. Some of those show the specific question there. Sorry, let me turn my phone off. So if you have ETH, are you grandfathered into ETH 2.0? So yes, your ETH will swap over. So who is that Uniswap tweet by? So it depends on which one. So this is Hayden Adams, mastermind behind Uniswap, and this is Andre from Yearn Finance, mastermind behind Yearn Finance. Who do I see as the biggest competitor for ETH? So I'm going to give you the inside joke that ETH 2.0 is the ultimate Ethereum killer. No, all seriousness, it's hard to me to say what you mean by competitor. As like somebody who offers the biggest value proposition against Ethereum, long term. I mean, I think we're gonna see other blockchains like pop up that get activity on them, users. I mean, I think Binance Smart Chain is getting a lot of attention right now. I've made tons of videos talking about this. Like, it's not the same thing as Ethereum. I mean, it technically is the same thing as Ethereum under the hood. It's just a fork of Ethereum. But it's not decentralized like Ethereum is. So, I mean, you could basically make Ethereum into Binance Smart Chain if we just reduce the validators to 21 and increase the block limit like crazy, modified the consensus mechanism. But we don't want to do that because we're preserving something that's incredibly valuable for Ethereum, which is that decentralized quality. So, I mean, in the short term, I think Binance Smart Chain has the strongest ability to, take some market share from ETH right now, but it doesn't have the same value proposition. I'm sure a lot of people want to know about Cardano and Polkadot and all that kind of stuff. I mean, the biggest problem with Cardano right now is you can't put smart contracts on it. So people say, well, it's going to happen later, but the last I checked, we still don't have a firm date on when Cardano is going to launch smart contracts. I mean, the Mary hard fork happened, so Cardano now has it's multi-asset and can support other cryptocurrencies. I believe it does multiple cryptocurrencies different than Ethereum does. So Ethereum has tokens that are created by smart contracts like ERC20 tokens, whereas Cardano has like native assets that work somewhat like ADA itself, but you can have new ones. But like right now, I mean, what can you do with that? Can you just send it to a centralized exchange and speculate on it? Can you use it in a DeFi ecosystem? You can't really, to my knowledge. If somebody has different information, leave it in the chat below. But with ETH, I mean, like right now, it's incredibly neutral, decentralized web infrastructure that you can create smart contracts on, do DeFi. And that's not really true anywhere else at this moment in time. I mean, you can do DeFi, air quotes on Binance Smart Chain, but it's not really decentralized. So Cardano has ERC20 bridge now. So somebody says. All right, buddy. So I'm going to go wrap it up for today. As always, smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. If you like these videos and you're as fast at this technology as I am, how can you become a blockchain developer today? Well, you can go to my YouTube homepage. You can find any of my free courses there, like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. If you like those, you want to take the next step, or hey, maybe you want to take a master shortcut entirely, I can show you how to become a blockchain master step-by-step, start to finish, over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. All right. You have to be an expert to get started today. I've helped people with zero programming background become real-world blockchain developers in a matter of months. All right. So that's all I've got. Until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.